Hi everyone, welcome to BumbleBeeCrafts. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm here today with a new little series. I'm calling it Journal Making 101 series because I'm going back to the basics. I've had a few questions about how I make the journals, in particular one lady, Kerry. Hello Kerry, hope you're doing well. She asked how I did the flip ups and flip outs on the front and back covers of the Truly Blue journal. So what I thought I would do is go right back to basics and start with the cover and give you the measurements and just how I make, or how I made that particular cover, and everything, and then take you through step by step the inserts with the flip outs and the little flaps and pockets that were on them. So there'll probably be about 4, possibly 5 videos in this little series, but we can add to it when we do other different types of journal covers as well. So yeah, it's just me taking everything right back and doing it step by step, talking you through and giving you measurements, and hopefully you can follow along with the tutorial style. So we'll start by making the basic cover that I've got here. I've done one here already, but this is basically what we need to get to in today's video, and this is the base of a journal cover. This particular one measures 6.5 inches that way by just over 8.5 inches that way, and it has a 1 inch wide spine. I just found that this works nice with the 2 signatures in it, although I added far too much when I did the Truly Blue. She really was an alligator mouth. But I think if I add it less pages, maybe only do sort of like 9, possibly 10 pages per signature with all the flip outs that I was doing, it shouldn't be too big a journal. So we will go through and do that whole process from start to finish, but in this little series that I'm going to be doing, the 4 or 5 videos, I just want to talk you through step by step the basics. So what you will need to make the cover is some card basically, and I always use scrap card. I've got here 2, because we're going to do 2 in this video, cereal packages. They're lovely thick card, and there's lovely craft coloured card on the inside there as well, but you can use any packaging. I don't just keep my cereal boxes. I've got some more here, different types. These are taller, this one's tall and thin, that one's a bit wider but still quite tall, and I've got a pizza box. I keep all sorts of packaging like this, and if I don't use it as journal covers, then it's ideal to use as thicker card for tags or journaling cards, that sort of thing. So yeah, you can make it from anything, and if you don't have this, then you can just use some craft card, or even just some scrapbooking card that you don't like and you're going to cover up, as long as it's quite a sturdy base. These particular ones are quite hard. They're not the squishy covers with the envelopes. We'll come to that in another videos. This one is a hard cover using cardboard that we're going to create. So yeah, that's just all sorts of stuff that I use. What I also like to do when I'm measuring out my journal is have a sheet of coffee dye paper that's been folded in half, which is the size of one of the pages that goes in the journal. And what I like to do when I'm making the covers, and just make sure that there's a nice gap here, you've got a little bit of a gap here, and it fits top and bottom basically. I don't want the journal to be this wide unless I'm using book pages that are bigger and wider. Then I will use that as the page base to make sure that my pages are going to fit nicely in my journal. So I've always got one of those to hand. Obviously you'll need glue. pencil and a ruler to measure things out. For cutting the card, I only have this little Fiskars paper trimmer. It will do one sheet, possibly two, of thinner card, but it certainly won't, it will struggle to go through this thick card here, and I don't have one of the rotary cutters or anything else, or one of those blade guillotines, so I just use my craft knife. This is an X-Cut. It's a brand here in the UK that you can get in the range or the BumbleBeeCrafts. And I've just got a metal ruler that I use because I can keep my fingers in this middle bit out the way, as I'm quite clumsy. So yeah, that's what I use to cut it up. You could use scissors if you've got some really strong sturdy scissors, but basically you just need something to mark it out, something to cut it, and then you'll need some glue. You will need some stronger PVA glue when we stick the spines. I'll show you how this bit is created. And then you just need some packaging. I cover up this shiny bright colours with just some old packaging here. I think this came from either Amazon or possibly even my Pets at Home cat food order. And as you can see, I've just covered it all over. I don't worry too much about the inside because you're going to cover this with either collage or fabric, and then you're going to have the inserts in it anyway, and plus it's that quite nice brownie coloured inside. But it just means that by putting something over the top of this bright writing, it doesn't show through on when you put fabric. If you've got a lighter colour fabric, or your digitals prints that you're using is quite pale. So you'll just need some, I just use Pritt Stick glue for that. So that's basically what you need. Yeah, so let's get marking and measuring this out. Just check. Yeah, we're all still in camera. Right, I'm just going to take a moment to have a sip of a drink. Bear with me. Oh, right. Okay. So we'll move these to the side. We only want one to start with. Oh, the other thing we'll be doing is creating a little template. I forgot to mention I make a little spine template. Here's one, this here, where you've got the holes marked out ready. This one was for the Truly Blue journal because that was 9 inches high, so it was a bit taller, because I used one of the other cereal boxes. This is quite short. It is just time these flappy bits have been cut off. It's going to be just under 8.5 inches, so I need to do a new one of these and mark out. So I've just got a bit of scrap of card there to do that with. Okay. But first things first, we need to turn this into the base of this. Now, what I always do first is measure the spine out, and I make use of the natural fold in the pages in this card here, and it's got a bit of a lip on that inside bit, so I literally just butt up my ruler to the inside. That's where one of these rulers, which starts at the end here, you could probably get one like this on Amazon or in a Hobbycraft, or in, is it Hobby Lobby in America that you have? Hubby gave me this one, and I just make sure I've butted it up to that fold there and just mark out on here 1 inch, and I just go down and do the whole bit like this, marking it out from the left fold up, because this will be the front cover. And then we'll just do one right at the very bottom here, like so. Now I do the same again from this side, because this will then be this side. And as you can see, where we've got that, we're literally only just going to, look at that, thin millimetre that we're going to be cutting off each time. My other ones were wider, so you got to cut off a bigger amount. But we'll still cut it, because then that will make it 1 inch exactly, and that's what we want. We don't want it to be anything less than 1 inch, or anything more really than 1 inch. So that's that, and that's that. Okay. Then what I need to do is, what did we say? This bit was, I have got some measurements here. I don't know if you can see. So we've got 1 inch spine, and these flaps either side are 6.5 inches, and then it's 8.5 inches tall. So we need to do, I need a bigger ruler that only goes up to there, so I just measure out on here. 6.5 is there. Let's pull it down a bit so that I can see. That's there. And then we'll do one down the bottom here at 6.5. That's there. And then we'll do the same here. I do start down the bottom. So that's 6.5 is there. And what I'm doing, measuring it, is I'm taking it like we did here on just on the other side of this little fold. If you can see, it raises it up where it's been scored. So I'm just going to the this side of that score bit with my measuring, just so that I get it all the same. Okay, so that's the measurements, and basically what you do is you I cut my spine first, and then stick those two bits together to get the flaps. So I've got everything measured out, and I cut this bit first because it's easier to do this, and then I'll cut these bits off afterwards on the shorter pages. So we will go with the first line, and I literally, where my marks were, I just make sure I'm completely lined up on all of them, and then I cut. There we go. So I then come here, and it's only a thin little bit that we're going to need off, but still that's exactly 1 inch that way, and then there'll be exactly 1 inch left on here. So we'll just do this. Ooh. As I said, you can use whatever cutting tool you have, whether you've got an actual rotary cutter, that would work nicely on here, scissors if you strong hands to cut it. So that's our two bases. What I just do for my own reference is just do back and front on there. It's just so that I don't get confused, and I can get easily confused. Right, okay, so what I do next is trim off these bits, and again, where that fold is, I'm going to come on this side of the fold, so this side of the fold rather than that side, and just cut them all off all the way across. This is where possibly the height of your journal might change. I mean, this particular card packaging is literally just under 8.5 that way, so it's quite a short one. I could have made it 9 inches, excuse me, if I was using one of the taller cereal packaging, but because we're repurposing these old food packages, you kind of often are dictated by the size of the packaging and led by that as to how you create the journal. But as I said, this can be done any height. So let's finish the front where we've scored along here for it being 6.5 inches wide. We will cut this bit off. Oops, I haven't wonky it. Oh. Right, okay. So that is the start of our front panel. Okay, so we'll do the same again. For the time being, I do keep these because I don't know if there'll be any use for any of the flippy flaps that we need. So we'll do the same again with the back, going in this side of the fold and cutting that off. Like so. And we'll do the bottom. On the inside of it, just like so. There we go. That's moved a bit. There we go. So that's that bit cut off as well. And then we go along this bit. Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking because you've got this fold here whether that would flap over, but it's too short. We would need it to be bigger, so I'm going to cut it off and then we can add these bits in afterwards. So that to me does not look straight. Have I got it straight? Where are we? We're on. Yeah, I got it straight. It must just have been the angle I was at that it looked a bit odd. There we go, so that bit's done. So there we go, put the lid back on my knife. That is our 2 front and back. Now what you do with the spine, and this helps reinforce it, is we will glue those 2 pieces inside each other like so, and that creates the spine. It helps strengthen it by doing that. And then you don't get, when you punch the holes, by doing both of them the 1 inch, you haven't got a ridge down the middle or anything. So there we go, that's how I've measured out the card, measured the journal from the inside of this, cut it all out ready. So we will stick this now together, and then we can start the covering. So just decide on which side, whether I want that on the inside, so that, I think you do, so that if there was any ridges or anything, it will go that way. So let's put glue all on this inside bit here. If my glue is going to come out, let's just grab a pin and got one in here somewhere. There we go. There, just wipe that. Right, my glue should be good now. Good to go. Just check them all. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to put some glue all on the inside here. I'm using my stronger PVA glue because I want it to stick, and it's shinier card. Obviously the inside's the rough paper, the rough brown sort of paper, but the bit that's going to sit on top of this is the shiny card, so I'm just using my stronger PVA glue. Okay, and and then this just sits inside, and I make sure it butts up to that natural fold there, but it doesn't impede the folding of the journal. So when you do that, you can still fold it over. That's good. Let's make sure we need to come up a little way. We're level. That folds nicely still that way. There, we're there, I think. Just get a little bit of movement there just to make sure it's butted up to this line here, the front flap. And there we go. There is the start of our journal cover. And as I said, making use of the natural folds in the card anyway really helps to just keep it nice and strong. So now what I do is cover this, and then that's done. So this is my old packaging. Let's just see how much we need. I'm just going to tear this bit off here. We don't need that, but I'll keep it. Always good for something. Okay, so yeah, I just want to glue this down now. So let's grab my glue page. Actually, I'm going to move that out there. I'm going to bring 2 of these in, and then I can just go round, glue this. So I just use Pritt Stick at this stage because you're folding it over. I don't necessarily need it to be too strong. This shiny side anyway is fine. I don't use the strong PVA glue for this, and this Pritt Stick will adhere to the other side of this card easier anyway. Okay, looks like it's drying quite quickly on there. Let's work quickly then. So we've got that. Let's move these to the side. Bring in this and just plonk it down. Good. Turn it over, and then I just use my card to smooth it out. And any wrinkles out. Doesn't really matter too much because if we collage over this or we add some material to it, you won't see it. It's just so that now you can't see that bright coloured writing through. Lovely. So next I just grab my scissors and I miter all the corners, just cutting off at a slight angle like that so that we can fold it all over. Usually with these kind of card based journals, I will put little book corners on them. I don't have any of the Tim Holtz ones. Mine were just cheap ones from Amazon, but they work just as good and are just as nice. Just haven't got that quite antique-y finish that the Tim Holtz ones have. Now I miter these bits in the middle here, and we go that way, and then I do a slight miter on this one here, just so that it doesn't create any excess bulk or anything. Those bits I won't keep. Where are we? You'll see I've done it there, and that just folds over and doesn't give too much extra bulk on the spine. So we'll do this side. And then we can glue these bits and flaps down, and we have a journal cover made. So we're going that way, that way. Oh, I do apologise, that was my phone bleeping. I forgot to turn the volume down before I started the video. I do apologise. Still, yeah, we're still recording. Okay, so let's bring back in my glue page and let's glue this side flap down. I've got glue on the side. Been a messy girl today with my glue. There we go. Now I use my little card here just to help get a really nice crisp fold, and just fold it down like so. That just gives a lovely smooth edge to it. This is just, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was like a parking card that I had when I was working. But you can use any. I've got one here, a Hobbycraft card that I use when I'm putting my re-inking. And this one was an old Sainsbury's gift card that I've just cut the corners ready to do tags and stuff, so they're always handy, these old cards. Okay, so let's do this bit. Need a bit more. There we go. So again, I use this just to run along that edge and that, tuck it down nice and smooth. Lovely. I'm just going to do this end piece first before we do the next bit. Okay. So I hope you're understanding this and this process of how I do this first initial stage. I hope it's all making sense. We will do another one in a minute once this cover's done, because once you know what you're doing and you're confident, they're quite easy to actually just pop together and make. So I think I might need to change my glue page looking at the glue that's on here. Let's just rub that glue off there. Yeah, let's let that one dry and we'll get this one back. I do this little middle bit. So that's all nice and smooth. So let's do this end. Yeah, this packaging is great for this kind of stuff, just covering it up. I have to fight my cat for it though. He loves sitting on Ghost. This is my big fluffy boy Ghost. He absolutely loves the packaging like this, all scrumpled up when it comes. He loves to bury himself in it and sleep in it. In fact, his His favourite bed at the moment, and has been for quite a few weeks now, is a big cardboard box that something came into. It's really big because he has to launch himself up and into it. It's so deep, but it's full of all this paper just scrunched up in the bottom of it, and he absolutely loves it. So yeah, I do, whenever a box arrives, he is straight there, very nosy cat. He loves to investigate. It's like, oh, what's in this box, Mum? Oh, packaging, is that for me? It's like, no, I want it for my journaling. So yeah, I have to fight the cat for it. Bless him. I think he's asleep somewhere at the moment. I think he has popped his head into a few of these videos, but I'm filming this in the morning, so he's asleep. He's had his breakfast and now he's curled up fast asleep. Okay, so that is, I usually wait for it to dry a little bit before I bend that again, but that's fine. That is your journal cover, front and back. Smooth that out a little bit, any bits. So there we go, one cover ready for us to then do all the nice flippy flaps that we want to do, and to decorate it with either material or collage. So let's pop that up. Actually, let's pop it over here to dry, and grab my second one, and I will just go through again what I do, because I want to make some journals this month, get ahead for autumn and everything, so you can never have enough cover bases ready. Okay, so the first bit was to measure the 1 inch, lifting that up, and I just measure 1 inch, 1 inch. 1 inch, 1 inch. 1 inch, 1 inch, and we do the same this side. 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Now my bigger ruler, because I need it to be wider, and again we would, if my ruler was flat on the end, I would be measuring from this bit, but as you can see how it is, it's got that little lip, so I'm putting the 0 on this side of the fold. Let's move it down a bit first so that we can do the 3, and that's about 6.5 there. That is about 6.5 there, and that is about 6.5 there. So we will do the same here. There's my 6.5 mark, so we measure there. There's 6.5, so it's there. 6.5, so it's there. Okay, so that's your marking done for your measurements. Let's cut the spine now. So we want to line these ones up here and cut down. Yep, no, that bit's free, and then I'll move it in and cut the next one off. No, I didn't think we were completely cut here. My knife's getting a bit blunt. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of these rubbish in my bin. Okay, so I'm just going to write on here again, front and back. Just helps me to know in my mind so I don't get confused. Let's cut these top bits off, just again this side of that flap. That's still attached somewhere there. There we go. Turn it round and do the bottom. That's about right. And then we will take off where we measured at the 6.5 to make the front cover. And I'm just going to help you my my mat actually, just to make sure I'm getting it straight. Which I don't think. Let me do it better here on this thicker line. That's straight, that's straight. Okay, here we go. We are there, that's straight. Right now. Oh. There, it should come away now. There we go. So that's our front bit of the journal. So we'll do the same process again with the back. Mix those bits off. That's that. And if I put it on here, use my mat as the grid again, just so that we've got a nice straight edge. Oops, that looks straight. There we go. Where's my lid for my knife? Put that to one side there. And there is our front and back ready to have this glued on. So let's glue it. Hands feel like they're not wanting to work anymore doing these couple of journals. I need to stop and rest them. So I'm hoping this has made sense for the first part of the journal and the cover. Do let me know in the comments if there was any, if you've got any questions or anything like that. Do let me know. So I'm just working it to make sure it butts up to there before it dries. There we go. That's nice. I'll just push it down. And that's our cover. So how are we doing on time? Yeah, we're about 40 minutes. I won't take you through covering it in the paper again, because I think that's pretty basic, you know, to lay this out, cover that side, do the corners and fold it in. But that's basically my journal covers all done. So yeah, ready for the video 2, which will be what I do. The next stage is covering them in fabric or collage, and I do that before I make the inserts, because I then will know how much of a lip with the fabric, like we pulled the paper over here. I do the same with these style of ones. I will flip the fabric over, or will collage into here, so that when we put our insert in here, we just see a small amount running around the edge of whatever fabric or pattern you've put on the front. So yeah, I will be back in my video 2, part 2 of the series, and we will cover these with one with fabric, and we'll do a collage one as well, so that you can see the two. And then we will take it to video 3, which will be the actual baseboards inserts that we'll be creating. So yeah, so keep all of your card cereals, packaging, pizza boxes, that kind of thing. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've been able to follow along with making this cover. And I'll be back in my next video. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.